Interviewed Anne Bancroft twice within a very short period of time. So she really did remember me. I'm not going to tell you they always remember me, but she did. The second time I interviewed her, I had just come back from my mother's funeral, and I really, really was down. And I happened to mention in passing that my mother had just died. And she decided that she was going to cheer me up. And she said to me, "Can I tell you a story about my husband?" Now, I want to say something. I would never have asked her to tell me a story about Mel Brooks because that's not what my job was. My job was to get the stories about Anne Bancroft. And here's the story she told me. She said, "We met on a television show, and I knew that I wanted to marry him. So I went to my psychiatrist, and I said, 'Make me well. I met the man I want to marry, and this one's going to last. He looks like my father, he talks like my mother, and I'll have everything I've ever wanted in my life.'" What was interesting about this is years later, she had died, and I happened to go to a memorial on the Sony lot, and I'm standing behind Mel Brooks. Now, I never interviewed Mel Brooks. I would have loved to, but I did. And I said to him, "Oh, I interviewed Anne for a couple of films." And he pulls me to the side and he said, "What films?" And I said, "Well, we did Night Mother." And he kissed me and he said, "You know, she was afraid of that film." She got an Oscar nomination, but I think a lot of actors, when they take a role that they're afraid of, really give 110%. And then I told him the story I just told you. And his eyes filled. And he said, in a very husband-like way, for a man that loved his wife, "Thank you."
Absolutely true. When I met him, I said, what more could you want? You know, I mean, he looks like my father, acts like my mother. I'll have everything I've ever felt safe with, you know. So I did. I went to my psychiatrist at that time and I said, come on, let's hurry this up. I met the guy. I want to be all ready and healthy, and I want this one to last. None of the others had.
But he did.
He did. He did a good job, didn't he, that psychiatrist?
Well, I think you did a good job.